Hey, everybody out there in Facebook land. Glad that you're able to join us this afternoon. We're excited that you're here, and we hope that by the time you leave this time together this afternoon, you'll be excited about coming to Labor Day for yourself, as well as inviting some people to come with you. Maybe bring your whole church or a church group of singles that come there. Bring your whole city. We don't care. Okay, we're open to all of that stuff, but we're looking forward to having a great weekend with you. I believe this is our 10th year of doing this with Kris and I. And this has been going on for over 40 years with single adults in the Western North Carolina area doing these types of things. And so we're excited to be able to bring that to you. And I just want to quickly open us in a word of prayer. And then I'm going to take just a couple of minutes and share a little bit about what the theme for this weekend is and what you can expect, hopefully, spiritually from the weekend. And then all these other folks that you see on here are going to tell you about all the other exciting things that you can be a part of and experience as well. And so let's just open with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for the gift of another day. Thank you that this is your day, the day that we worship you and honor you, and pray that all of these that are watching today, they've been able to experience you in some way or another in their home church or whatever that looks like for them. And so, Father, we just pray now that you would just bless our time here this afternoon and just everything be glorifying and honoring to you as we look forward to Labor Day Singles 2024, Father. And we just give you all the praise and all the glory. And we do it in Jesus' name. Amen. So part of the thing, Kris and I have been kind of partnering, I guess, to do this for 10 years or so now. And one of the great privileges I have usually is to come up with the theme for the weekend and the scripture theme and that kind of thing. And I get excited about that because it's really somebody had asked Kris earlier, I think this week, about what's new on a Labor Day weekend, and the reality is everything is new every year. It really is. We come in with a different theme every year. There's different scriptures. We have a different prayer experience that you'll hear probably more about here in just a few minutes. Our excursions, some of them are the same, some of them we do differently. But there's just a lot of different things. And plus the people. We have people that come who've been multiple times, and we have people that come for the first time. And so all of that makes for something very new and exciting. And the really key to that whole thing is just like, I talk to our congregation at the church where I pastor, all the time. You can come in, and if you've got a bad attitude, it's going to be hard for God to break through that. But if you come in and you've got the palm of your hands up like this, and you're saying, God, speak to me, God will speak. And I don't even have to be a good preacher or anything at that point. All I got to do is just throw the word out there and God does his thing. And so the same thing is true really for Labor Day. If you're going to come, we just ask that you come with a heart expecting God to do something. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to do in my life. And I can't speak to what he's going to do in your life. But what I do know is this, that his word never returns void. And so when we're exposed to his word, you're going to experience something that God wants you to be able to experience. So I'm very excited to be able to announce for you this afternoon our theme for the weekend, and just want to share a scripture passage out of that. And it's entitled Trusting God's Promises, Deep Waters. And that's the real theme, deep waters. And the truth of the matter is, folks, that all of us at some point in our lives experience things that take us into the murk of deep waters in our lives, whether it's a broken relationship, whether it's financial need, whether it's the passing of someone that we love and care about, whatever it may be, our job that we hate, the boss that we hate, whatever it is that it creates murk in our lives, we eventually find ourselves in the deep waters. And the thing that's going to make the difference is, who are we trusting to get us out of the water? Are we trusting the things of the world, or are we going to trust God? And specifically this weekend, we're going to be talking about some of the promises of God that we can trust that will help lift us up out of those deep waters. So some of you, when you come Labor Day weekend, you will be going through deep waters in that very moment. There'll be something going on in your life that you're really struggling and wrestling to get through. Some of you will come and you're going through a really good season right now, but God may use it to prepare you for some deeper waters that are coming down the road in your life that you're not even aware of yet. So I really hope, Kris loves me to say this because it's my favorite saying about the weekend, is that the truth is you can't experience it unless you're there. I can't tell you what God's going to do, but 10 years of experience tell me he's going to do something, but you have to be there to be a part of it. So I just really want to encourage you right now. If you're on a tight budget, start saving your money, getting ready to come, okay? If you're wondering about, well, is it really going to be anything different or not? I promise you something will be different. Okay. We may not know how to tell you what that difference thing is right now, but we can, just because we know God and how he works, we know that there's going to be something exciting that's going to happen. I'm praying about something, can't disclose that today. This is a teaser for you, but still praying about something that I'm hoping is going to be a part of that weekend. And if it is, it'll be something we've never done. So whoever you people are, they're going, well, we never do anything. Well, I promise you, we've never done this at Labor Day before. So, but I do want to read a scripture. It's kind of our theme scripture verse, if you will. But I'm actually going to read a couple of verses beyond our theme verse as well, that kind of just help see how this all works together. So in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2, this is our theme verse. Isaiah 43, verse 2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, and they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through the fire, this is moving on to the second part of verse 2. This is not actually part of our weekend experience, but it's another great illustration of God's promises to us. He says, when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. And then the very beginning of verse 3 says this, for I am the Lord your God. And so I hope this excites you. When we go back and look at verse 2, when you pass through the waters, when you pass through the deep waters, he says, I am with you. Now, for those of you that have already been through those kind of experiences in life, you can probably look back now and see where God was in the midst of that. You may have not have seen it at the time. I know there's been several times in my life that I couldn't see God's hand working in the moment. But now that I have time to be able to look back, I can go, wow, I see where God was working that. Sometimes he was just working on me. Sometimes he was working on other circumstances, other people, but he's always at work. And then through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. Now, when I was a young child, I almost drowned. I was in a river with my dad, and I was about 3 years old, maybe something like that. And my dad had a hold of my hand, and my hand slipped out of my dad's hand, and I went under the raging river waters. And I didn't recognize this at the time, but looking back and thinking about it over the years, my earthly dad and I didn't have a great relationship, especially when I was younger and when I thought I knew more than he did. Now that I'm older and he's deceased, I realize just how smart he was all those years and still is smarter than I am, even though he's been deceased for 12 years now. But one of the things that I remember about that experience was the water was overwhelming me, and then I felt this hand reach down and grab me. And it was my dad, and he yanked me up out of the water. And I think that's a picture for us for the weekend, is that if we're going through something in life right now, God is not going to let the raging river consume you. He's going to reach down at the right moment. What the right moment is may be different for each one of us, but in that right moment, he's going to reach down and he's going to snatch us up out of the water. And if you happen to be fortunate enough not to be going through some kind of deep water experience on Labor Day weekend, the next time that you experience that in life, hopefully this weekend will be a reminder to you that your Heavenly Father is always there ready to reach and to save you. So I hope that'll be encouraging to you. I hope you'll be excited about considering coming and being a part of the weekend. And so that's kind of my spiel for the weekend. But what I do know is this: if you don't come, you won't be able to find out what God is going to do. So I really want to encourage you. Pray about it. Think about it. Save up your pennies if you need to, or whatever you need to do for your life experience. But we would love to see you. For those of you that might be returning, it's always great to see faces that we've seen before. And then I love meeting new people. And when you see me, make sure you immediately let me know whether you're a hugger or not, because I'm a hugger. And so I don't want to offend anyone or anything. So just immediately go, reach out like this, or go, ah! And then I'll know what to do. Okay. But looking forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Pastor Freddie. Hey, everybody, I'm Kris Swiatocho, and I am the co-teacher with Pastor Freddie for the Labor Day Singles Retreat. And we have some other ones on our team that also are incredible teachers. where they go to church or where they pastor, how they serve. So we have an incredible team of people that are love and sold out for Jesus. And I know everyone is excited. Some of the team has been coming to Labor Day for longer than 10 years when it was hosted by Lifeway. And then I was on the Lifeway team even farther back for 10 years. And I will tell you, every time I came, it was different because different people create a different experience. And we never know what's going to happen. And it keeps us flexible for the Lord because we definitely don't want to be so structured that we forget about the Holy Spirit and to allow God to do what he needs to do. And so with that, I want to introduce our team and let them share the area that they serve in. And then we're going to hear from, we're going to go to a screen share of our website that's up with the registration information, and Missy and Carrie will be talking about that. And then we're going to open it up to questions. So if you have questions, we want you to put that in the chat or get ready to put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. Okay? Pastor Freddie, thank you again. And let me see where we are. Let me go ahead and I'm going to, of course, on Zoom, it's all upside down and whatever. So everybody floats around. But let me go ahead and start with Ernest Jefferson. Ernest, tell people the area that you serve and a little bit about that.
Certainly. Hello, everybody. Glad that you have joined us today. I serve in the areas of table hosting and breakfast and lunch and learn. So first of all, the table host, we make sure that as you enter every general session that we have a person assigned to every table, because we know that this weekend is all about community. It's all about friendship. It's all about networking. It's all about connection. And we don't want any single adult to attend this event and say they didn't make a new friend or they just stayed with the same people that they came with. So, we prayerfully consider the individuals who host our tables, and they help spawn, conversation and dialogue at the tables. And then throughout the weekend, as we have our breakfast and lunch times, we have specialty topics that are important and of interest to single adults. And we will have an array of topics to talk about. And every year, God and the Holy Spirit truly works through those conversations. I am so thrilled just to walk from table to table and just glean from all the great conversations that are going on. So we are strongly encouraging you to go ahead now, prepare to register, tell all your single adult friends at work, in your family, wherever. We want to see you there Labor Day weekend. Thank you.
Wonderful, thanks. And what I love about Breakfast, Lunch, and Learns, if you've ever attended one of those, this is how we keep from having to have breakouts, because we want you to have as much time in the excursions on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. So instead of being stuck back in a classroom, we say, hey, you're going to eat, you're going to yak anyway. Why not talk about a topic that you're interested in? And it also allows people who maybe have a new book they've written, maybe they have a specialty area that they teach or work in, and allows you to pick and choose something that you're interested in to learn a little bit more to help you in your walk as a single adult. We also have leadership breakfast, lunch, and learns for those of you who are wanting to start or grow a ministry in your church. Let's talk to the next person. Let's talk to Roseanne and kind of Terry. I know, Terry, you're kind of doing a lot of things, but we want to give you a chance to share as well. But Roseanne and Terry, you guys tell the area you serve.
Okay.
Good.
I'll go first. I work on the decorations, and I also help Kris with the merchandise table and selling her books and whatever else we've got out there to sell. Pastor Freddie's books get back there too. And so if you have any questions about those things, of course, I know a little bit about most of those books that have been written. I think I've done every study there is. And then when it comes to the decorations and things like that, I like to make the place look pretty if we can, and of course brainstorm with different folks. And Terry's going to help me in a couple different places, I think, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. What you gonna do, Terry?
So I'm helping you, but I'm also helping Missy and Carrie. So, I'll know for sure later. But anyways, I'm helping Roseanne and just to work at Kris's table and help her with, merchandise for Kris and for Pastor Freddie. And then I'm helping Missy and Carrie with registration. And that's about all I know right now, but I will know soon what those details are.
Well, and Terry, if you guys might remember, Terry and Pastor Jay George have led worship on Sunday night for at least 10 years. And so you might know that familiar face. And she is a leader also in her home state of Louisiana in singles ministry as well. So thank you, Terry. Thank you, Roseanne. And let's go down the list to Mary Lois and Crystal. Mary Lois, tell people what you do. Okay, she is muted and she's got to get herself unmuted.
I'm here.
There she is. All right, go ahead.
So, I'm a leader in the hospitality kitchen area with Crystal Atkinson, and we are responsible for making sure you guys have plenty of coffee early in the morning on those early mornings, and then we make sure you have, you know, snacks and things to munch on Friday night after the first session is over. And then we also make sure y'all have, you know, fun stuff and snacks to snack on during the dance on Saturday night. We also, for those of you who have been before and know about it, we do a breakfast that we handle on Monday morning for anybody who is just not ready to say goodbye. And that breakfast is generally held by, catered by Eggs Up Grill. So we're hoping they'll do it again this year. We're in negotiation. And but Crystal and I make sure that everything is ready for that. We put out a little bit of extra stuff so you guys have munchies to travel with. And so we're just there. Well, you'll see us. We're the ones that are, you know, in the kitchen most of the time, but still there if somebody needs something. So we also handle the wish list. Again, if you've come before, you know that to sort of support and offset some of the overall cost of the retreat, instead of asking you, well, we still kind of do, but instead of you having to bring something with you when you travel, you can order from the Amazon wish list, which I'm sure Kris will talk about more about that. And we, so Crystal and I sort of make sure that the things that go on that list were the hospitality area. So that's kind of what we do. And I'll let Crystal finish this up.
Well, we enjoy having everyone. And we like to keep you on a full stomach because you can't learn if you're hungry. So we enjoy. My mother has been in food service all her life, so I get it. We just enjoy being there. We enjoy helping you as any way we possibly can. If you need a cup of coffee to stay awake, we'll help you there. So I really encourage everyone to go ahead and jump on that wish list, because we had a phenomenal turnout on the wish list and stuff that we couldn't even imagine last year that really helped us out. So I really encourage you to do that. And we look forward to seeing you this Labor Day.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, it's an Amazon wish list. And what it does is that we ask people to bring snacks to share every year. But, you know, we learned about this opportunity with Amazon for all the dry products, you know, dry snacks and things like that, which helped us financially by people pre-ordering those things, and it directly ships to me. And then, of course, I have to carry them over, and they start to pile up in at my house, but I don't mind it at all. But it helps offset the ministry expenses. And often people do it early enough to where they don't even realize, you know, it's just a small expense for them, but it helps us so much in the ministry. And then this way you just show up. You don't have to worry about stopping at a store and picking up anything. And so we'll have more about that information on the website. We're not live yet with the wish list, but it'll probably come in the next couple of weeks, and you can see what's on there. So we do definitely appreciate that. So let's go on to the next one. Thank you, Crystal, Mary Lois. Let's go over to Tammy and Kate. If you guys want to unmute yourself and Kate, introduce yourself, and then let Tammy share, that'd be awesome.
Yes, hi, I'm Kate Stewart, and I work with Tammy Kirkstra on fundraising, and we're in charge of the silent auction, and we also are in charge of fundraising prior to the retreat because we want to offset costs as much as possible. So do be on the lookout for things we may post on Facebook, like if people have things that they want to sell that have, you know, they want the proceeds to go to the retreat. or we'll also do various other fundraisers prior to the retreat as well. But, and of course, with the silent auction, we of course want, you know, any items, any baskets, things that you can donate. Of course, do let me know, and or Tammy, and then we'll be prepared to get them at the retreat, so we can put them out on the silent auction that's held on Friday night.
I help Kate with the silent auction and any fundraising before that, any Facebook stuff, any of the other fundraising ideas that come through that we can do to raise any money. And we have a lot of fun putting all the stuff together and getting it all ready. And we hope to see all the stuff that you guys want to bring for this year.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Kate. And so again, because we are a nonprofit ministry, we are volunteer led. And so we rely on donations to help offset ministry expenses, as well as scholarships for people who want to come and are not able to come or pay the full amount. And so we rely on those fundraisers. So we've had people do birthdays on their birthday, do a fundraiser, and proceeds go to Labor Day. We've had people have Mary Kay parties and you know, have a product they have made, or candle parties and Scentsy parties. And so we're just very thankful for the creativity that people have had, and every penny counts. So you may say, well, I raised $50. Well, $50 will help somebody be able to come to Labor Day. So keep that in mind in that regard. And we do appreciate everything that comes in that helps the ministry, because we want to keep doing what God has asked us to do. So with that, let's go over to our facilities team. And we have Jimmy, Jeff, and Davey is not here, but I'm sure Jimmy and Jeff can share what they do.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jimmy Miles, and one of the leaders on the facility team. And we do a lot of things Labor Day weekend. We enjoy serving there, and primarily we're involved in setting up the youth activity building, where a lot of the activities take place during the weekend. We help with parking on Friday afternoons, and we help with the other various teams with assisting them with setup, and also involved with the bonfire on Saturday night, which is a great time. So we enjoy helping with that. And also, you know, as far as the breakdown on Monday mornings, a lot of activities goes on there. And we also assist in monitoring inventory items as well. So look forward to the weekend, and again, look forward to seeing you there.
Jeff, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jeff Sparks. I'm also on the facilities team. And Jimmy, he done a good job of explaining what we do, but we're definitely excited to see you come and meet you and make a lot of new friends.
And so, guys, understand facilities it's again kind of like hospitality. You don't even see what's going on. It's kind of behind the scenes, and there's everything, you know, to keep you safe and to keep things organized and keep coffee pots working and trash cans and just helping with room. If you're, you know, there's a situation or whatever, they try to work with. We work with Bon Clark, and so there's a lot of things you don't see. They're set up. And we're very thankful that because I live where the retreat is in Hendersonville, North Carolina, we have a ton of people that come and volunteer throughout the whole week, and they set majority of everything up before you even get there. And these are definitely behind the scenes people. I pray some of them are watching, just so you know that we just could not do this without you. And then on Monday, of course, is the breakdown. And one great thing, it's only taken us about 8 years to get here, was that Jimmy organized our inventory of our storage building into literally an Excel spreadsheet. So now I can go to box whatever to find box whatever. And until then, we were just winging it, pulling boxes off of a shelf and looking through them. And so you think it sounds trivial, but it does. Organization helps with your mind, and it helps with the organization of your ministry, your business. And so we're so thankful for that. And it's streamlined. Everything gets cleaned up and packed up with a great set of volunteers. So we thank you guys for that. Next is our prayer team. And so this is Wes and Angela and Brenda. Michelle cannot be with us tonight, but I will let we got 2 new leaders of Brenda and Angela, but you guys probably know Angela. She's been coming a long time, but I'll let them introduce themselves and talk about the prayer team. Pastor Wes, do you want to start?
I'd be happy to. It's been my privilege and honor really to serve with the prayer team now for, well, I believe 3 years, I think. And part of what I do is participate with the prayer experience. And another one that I really enjoy, probably the most of everything, is greeting the people when they come in on Labor Day weekend to the retreat, and we offer to pray for each one. And to me, that just is so meaningful to me, as well as I hope to the people that we pray for. We've seen a lot of breakthroughs that way, and relationships form too, for that matter. Also, some things that I participate with on the peripherals of that would be sharing the devotions in the mornings. I enjoy doing that, and I know a lot of people like to participate or to attend that, as well as the lunch and learns that Ernest mentioned already. Those are a very good resource too. But yeah, so I just highly recommend, if you've never come before, you should do it and seek us out. Look for the prayer team. I think we'll be identified one way or another. You can chase us across the hill there if you want for prayer anytime during the weekend.
Wonderful. So Brenda and Angela, do you want to share?
Sure. I'll share. I've been helping with prayer for a lot of years down there, not officially on the team. So last year I was very honored for Kris to offer to bring me on board for prayer. That is something that's been a major center of my life, and I have taught on it on a lot of occasions. I helped with, like Wes had mentioned, about when you first come, we have prayer tents that will be set up, that once you register, we want to pray for you and set the atmosphere for the weekend. And we also pray for the speakers and for the worship teams because we think that is very important for the atmosphere to be set for them as well. So God can move and they can set everything for us, so God can speak to us each individually and as a unit, as a team. We also have a prayer box that is always there for people that can put prayers in during the whole weekend that you're there, whether it's something, a need or something that you just need us to cover. We're honored to do that, and we do it as a team. And this year I'm really excited to be on the team as trying to come together and hear what God wants to do to bring your prayer experience to be one that will top every one that you've ever had. And that's been something that's been very important to every person that I've talked to over the years, of how the prayer experience has deepened their walk and has really brought them to a higher level in Christ, and really makes them feel closer to Christ. So I'm really excited to be a part of that team and working with Brenda and Wes and Michelle.
Wonderful. Brenda.
Likewise, I feel it's such a privilege and honor to be asked to be on the team for this year. Last year was my first time at the retreat. I was just blown away because you're right on campus from the beginning, and you're greeted in line right next to the prayer tent. People right from the beginning wanting to pray for you and along and throughout, as Wes said, throughout the retreat. And I actually come to realize that, and I'm just so excited, looking forward to this year already and hearing what everybody's doing and how we're launching it. I'm just super excited because I know, having been asked to be on the prayer team, I've already started praying, as I know our team has, because not just when people hit the ground, arrive at Bon Clark, and you've already been prayed for, asking God to bring the people, send the people that He wants to touch. Step out on faith, seek God, step out on faith. Come, let God meet you, let God bring you, let God make your plans for you, make the arrangements. And even while we're there praying, I really was blessed last time because there's opportunities to serve, as Kris said. This happens with an army of servants. So when you come, you're going to have an opportunity to sign up to serve and volunteer. I did, and I signed up for the prayer times, time to pray specifically for people. And so my assignment was to pray in the mornings over every seat, over every table, before the meetings ever started, both days. And I was just so blown away, and just to know I got a chance to participate in what God was doing that weekend. And the weekend will go by so fast. You'll make new friends. You just come expecting God even if you've been 10 times, if this is maybe your first time, it'll be the first time for this year. Just come and meet God. Meet the one who loves you the most, Jesus.
Yeah.
Come for him.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you, Brenda. And I've known Brenda for a little while, and I have just seen this consistency and this prayer, this heart for prayer and for Angela. And prayer is so important, and we know this. Without it, we wouldn't do what we're doing. And you are prayed for ahead of time. We've already been praying for you. We meet monthly to pray for you, and our mid-year leaders retreat, which is all of our team, meets in mid-year, and we also go and pray over the campus. So just knowing that this is, that every chair, every doorknob, everything has been prayed for, that when you get there, just knowing that should encourage you, I hope. Which great, Brenda, you've led us right into our volunteer leader, which is Mrs. Miles, Sherry Miles, and so you just gave her a great little push for her area. But Sherry, tell people about your area, because your area is very important too.
Hey everyone, I'm Sherry Miles, and I lead over the volunteers. Our volunteers, they're important to the success of the retreat. So as you hear, in all the areas we have leaders, we do need volunteers. You've got the prayer team, hospitality, you've got setup and cleanup, you've got the merchandise table, decorations, parking, even greeters. We need greeters in all different areas. So if there's an area that you're looking to serve at, that would be great. You can reach out to us. All we ask is for 1 hour a day, just minimum. If you could just serve and help in that area, that would just really help us out. So when you go in and you do register, later on through the month before we get close, we'll send out a link and we'll have all the areas that are available that we need help. So we're looking forward to seeing you again this year, and just great to see everyone again, and everyone that's new that's coming in.
Yep.
Hey,
And
one thing real quick, Kris, I want to hit Ernest. I mentioned this earlier, and Sherry, there's two ladies watching, I believe, this afternoon, and Sherry is the lady you guys need to connect with, but Ernest, they want to be table leaders, okay, like in the worship center when we're doing that. So you guys get them hooked up and connected. They'll be reaching out to you, and so I'm looking forward to that. So
well, and just as a reminder that until you register, we don't sign you up to volunteer until you've registered. So registration is we're transitioning that in just a few minutes, and because registration page is up, and you can register even tonight. But as far as talking to Bon Clarkin, which we're going to talk about that in just a moment, you have to call in the morning. But the reason we do this is that often people say, yes, I want to help. And then we put them on a list, and then life happens and they don't register. And then we have that area missing. So we wait. So some of you guys may register this month. You may register in April or May. As we go further into the year, you will then get an email that says, hey, here are all the areas that we need help with. And then you can see and then sign up going forward. Okay. And so, but yeah, we need volunteers in every area. So thank you for that. One thing I wanted to mention too with our prayer team this year, our prayer team wore purple lanyards last year, but there was still like, trying to find them in a crowd of people, because we've ranged from 250 to 350-ish singles every year. We never know what God's going to bring. So it's a lot of people, and they come from all over the country. So just so you know, they're not just all in the South. We got them from everywhere. But this year, our prayer team is going to be wearing purple vest. And when and so if you are a prayer warrior, you want to help with the prayer team, you can help and just work part of one day, that kind of thing. But it's mainly so that you can find the prayer team. If you need prayer, you need help, we want to make ourselves available for you. So I wanted to get with that. So the next person on the list is Carrie and Missy, I think. Yes. And so we're going to let them go ahead. But you know what I might do? Let me just change this real quick, because we're going to be transitioning to the actual internet. To the website. So let's let Russell and Christy go ahead and go. Not go, but share, because this is our amazing worship team that everybody loves.
Hey everybody, Russell and Christy here, and we are so excited to be back again for Labor Day Singles. And I'll just say this, I think from the beginning is that what a team this is and what an effort goes into this event. So, kudos to all of you leaders that are on this call kudos to Kris and Freddie and everyone who's a part of just, putting this together. We are a part of Chris and I, we do a lot of events in a lot of places all over the country, but I will tell you, I don't know of another event where I think as much effort and prayer and planning is done. And to know that this is an event, if you're on the fence of whether or not you should come to this event, and we're going to talk about the music in a minute, but I'm just telling you that how great is it to know that for more than a year in advance, people are praying for you, they're planning for you, they're prepping for you, and this event is designed specifically for you if you are single and if you're seeking God. And that's, I mean, I don't know what else you'd be looking for in an event than being at this one, if that's you. So come and join us. We love what we get to do, which is we get to encourage people through music and leading people in worship. It's not about Russell and Christy. It's not about Kris or Freddie or anything. It's all about Jesus. And so as we get ready for that weekend, we get up there and we're going to, start off with just some high energy praise and worship. We're going to bring songs that we feel like are going to help us go to the throne of God. And we want you to come expectant to sing with us. But more than anything, we want you to come expectant and open-minded for what God might say to you over the course of the weekend. So we're going to be there and we're going to gear up and be ready for it. And we're just thankful for all those who are prepping and planning and praying for this event. And we just are really excited that you're thinking about coming. And we hope that you'll be there Labor Day weekend to join us. So that's our 2 cents.
Well, and I'm not going to give it away because it's also a surprise, but we've got some changes in our stage a little bit too, and how where Russell and Christy will be on the stage, and Freddie and I. And again, just as this is the great thing about Labor Day. Every year we have a debrief. We look at what worked, what didn't work, what needs to improve, how to make things better, because our goal is to give you an experience. That's our Facebook page. We want you to leave different than when you got there. And so we work hard and we listen to you, the comments that you make. And so, which is something that we're going to share with Missy and Carrie, which is a change, another change in our registration, with the ultimate goal is to, again, make it easier for you to get here. So with that, I'm going to switch over to Missy and Carrie to share their area. And I will be doing a screen share here shortly after they introduce themselves.
I'll go first. I'm Carrie Robinson. I've been a part of Labor Day Retreat for about 14 years now. Each year is definitely different and wonderful. I am part of the admin / registration team with Missy, and I also help put together the excursion teams and the excursion list. And so I'm just looking forward to this year. Each year it seems to get better and better. We have a great leadership team, and we just want you to come expecting to see how God can change your life.
Hey guys, I'm Missy Honeycutt, and I'm from South Carolina, and that is the Smiling Faces, Beautiful Places state. And there's several on our team that are from there. And we are so excited to have y'all come and join us this year for the 2024 retreat, Deep Waters. And we are excited to have you. We've got some changes with registration that we want to share, but you can't come if you don't register. And if you're on the fence because you're like, I don't know anybody, come anyway, because within the first 15 minutes, you're going to know a bunch of people. You will not be left out on your own, and you will not be alone. So just know that you will be okay. God is with you, and that he is going to speak to you through the weekend, and you will gain some wonderful insight through his word and worship, but also some singles that love you and friendship, because we're all in the same season of life. And even this married couples that are on leadership and they're with, because they lead singles teams at church, or they have a singles ministry, and that's where their love is ministering to single adults of all ages. We have people that come from their late 20s all the way up to even a few in their 80s. We have people that have never been married, people that are divorced, and people that are widows or widowers. So there is a place for you. It's just like church. You look around and see everyone. So it's the kingdom of Christ and the body of Christ. So we want to share with you some, we feel like is really good changes that are going to be happening for registration. So when you go to the registration page for 2024, you will see our postcard. And if you would like one of these postcards to be able to share with people and you want, hey, I want to pass these out, you can find the email at the bottom of every page on the website. And you go down and you email and say, hey, I want 25 postcards. Please send them to this address so I can hand them out to singles and share with them about the retreat. So that is available on every page. We'd love to get some info out to you. The first big thing that's going to be changing for 2024 is when you go to the registration page on number 1, over to the right, it gives you the prices wherever you are going to stay, so you can see it ahead of time before you go on to the Von Clarkin portal to register. So it gives you an idea of what you need to save, information, and also down to the left is a slideshow with all of the lodging that's available, and you can see what the building and the rooms look like. The big thing is this year is you will no longer have to pay a separate conference fee. It's all booked into one price on the Von Clarkin page. So when you register for Labor Day, your conference fee will automatically be added to your balance. So you can go on number 1, you register. If you've already been before, all you need to go in is go to the portal, type in your password. You go, oh my gosh, Missy, I can't remember. It was 200 days ago. Well, go in and change your password. It's real easy, folks. You can do it. Go back and find your receipt. But it is telling you what you need to do first and about the meals that are also included for your thing. So you go to number 1, you go online, you register, your conference fee is automatically added, and you click on whether you're staying on or off campus with number 2. If you are going to stay off campus, you're driving locally back and forth. Your conference fee is listed here for the weekend. And how much it will cost if you just come for 1 day, 2 days, or the whole entire weekend. If you would like to add meals into your portal from Von Clarkin, then you can go on there and do that. On the page, every page, there's information about who you need to contact at Von Clarkin if you've got a question about meals, you're off campus or whatever. You can also always email us at singleslaborDayExperience@gmail. Number 3 is the video that's going to show you exactly what you need to do to register, folks. It's there. And if you go, I don't know what to do, you go to number 3 and you click that little arrow and you watch that video. You might need to watch it and stop it because you're in the process of registering. It's okay. If you get to the point to where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what to do first, then you can email us. But please watch the video first because it may answer the questions that you have. So there's more information about here. If you are going to register a group, a church group, and you're a pastor that's coming, then you'll call Christy at Von Clarkin, and she will help you set up your deposit for all of your singles that are coming with you. If you also have a question, you can still email us and we can direct you to the correct person that can answer your questions. Now, just a little reminder, your conference fee for Labor Day is non-refundable from the beginning. We know things that can happen, but we also know that this is a nonprofit. It is run solely by single volunteers, and we just have to have that policy that our conference fee is non-refundable. Von Clarkin's website has the cancellation policy information on there. If something happens to you and there's an emergency or whatever, there's all that information is on there about what you need to do. If you would love to have a roommate to help share the cost, you can go on our Facebook page where it says, I need a roommate. You can click it and ask to join our Facebook group if you're not there already. Now, listen, there's 3 questions we ask that you answer, please. It's, Are you single? Are you legally single? You know, where are you from? I agree to the rules of the page. You know, I go to church here. We do that to make sure that we keep everything legit and that we don't have scammers trying to get into our website and our page. So you can post that on there that you're looking for a roommate. Where you're going, the big change this year though is if you're wanting a roommate, do not list that you're getting a roommate at first. Because if you list that you've got the roommate and they don't show up, oops, sorry, you're responsible for paying their half. So do not put your roommate information down until you have them sign up as well. So also, any more questions about food, lodging, conference fee, there's 2 different places you can get for information. Reservations with Christy or also Labor Day with Carrie and I. And there's the optional down below, the optional breakfast on Monday morning that we do for people that hang around, don't have to leave early. That is the one thing that you will have to purchase separately on our Facebook page. Not a Facebook page, but on our website. That is on there. So if you want the optional Monday breakfast, you will need to pay for it through our website. If you want to support the ministry and say, hey, can't come this year, but you know what? God's blessed me. I would love to put some money into the account for supporting people for scholarships so that they can come. You can donate through our ministry link that will go to help others to come for this year. We love you guys. Go ahead, Chris.
One other thing too, it's not on here yet, but our t-shirt design we're working on, and sometime probably in March, we'll have the t-shirts, the design up there. Then you can purchase a t-shirt that also helps us with our fundraising. So that'll be in this particular area right here as well, and our hats. We did hats last couple of years, and the last year they really went well. So we're going to do hats again. So be looking for that, and our wish list will also be listed there, and you can check out the different things that are on the list that we're looking for to help us with the retreat.
But we would love to have you guys come. And guess what? You can start registering in the morning. So get yourself together. I'm going to say this. I say it every year. If you are a mom, if you're a daddy, if you're a grandma, if you're a grandpa, if you're an aunt or an uncle, no matter who you are, you will have a birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, any of those things happening, Valentine's Day, anything coming up before the retreat. Instead of getting some kind of a Starbucks gift card or, something off of Amazon or just something that you're going to put in the closet and never use, ask for money to go towards the retreat. Say, I'm saving up to go on this awesome retreat and I want money to help me get there. So ask for it. The second thing is, if you guys are flying in, Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport is having a new airline that's starting. You can go on FlyBreeze, FlyBreeze, and they are flying into the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport and from several destinations all over the U.S. that were not available before. And they've got some really cheap deals right now, like one-way $49 deals. So if you're looking for the airport to come into, the Asheville Regional Airport is the first one to go to. Closest, second one's GSP International, and third is Charlotte. And those are in order of closest to the retreat center. But we love you guys and can't wait for you to get started to join us for 2024 Deep Waters.
Hey, Missy, comment one, people who always want to know why the excursions aren't listed in April or May or June or July. Tell them why we don't list them until almost the last minute.
The reason we don't list excursions until like the last 2 weeks or so before the retreat is because to have an excursion, we have to have somebody that is responsible that says, hey, I will be the leader. Everybody can follow me. And if we don't have leaders, we don't have excursions. So that's why we wait to make sure that we have leaders before those are posted. That information will only go out to registered attendees when it is available. So if you're going, oh my gosh, I don't see nothing on the website about excursions. Well, you can see what we did last year or in the past, but unless you were registered, everybody will get the exact same email at the exact same time. We do have some that are always, they're only allowed so many that can go. And just FYI, when you pay, it is time stamped, and we know who pays before someone else does. So it's not that we're picking and choosing. There's a time stamp on your information that comes through. So, and if you're going, hey, I did something last year I thought was really cool, and I can play follow the leader with everybody, then you can email Carrie and I at the address at the bottom of the website.
Yeah. And also, no, we leave the ones from the last year up there, so you can kind of see an idea of what it is. We don't do the Apple Festival anymore. We don't typically have a leader for that, but it's really close by, and we encourage people to go to the Apple Festival or all the different Apple places that are around to support the industry that's here. But there's some things you can do on your own. You don't need us to actually lead you, but we design the excursions because we don't want anybody to come and say, I don't have anybody to do anything with. You have someone to do something with, and you're not going to be left alone. And that's why we designed that. One other thing, real clear, I'm going to go through just a few parts of the website. You can check it out. Is last year, Bon Clark handled all of our hotels and our meals, and we handled the registrations separately. And it was just a challenge to try to keep up with everybody and find everybody. So Bon Clark has graciously, they're going to be collecting all of our funds except for the items that we mentioned, which is the Monday morning optional breakfast and T-shirts, scholarships, but they're going to be collecting everything. And so when you go onto the portal to get your room, the fee is there, and it will be incorporated into your bottom line expense. That way you don't have to come back to our website and register and pay the conference fee separately. So hopefully that's be it easier for this year. And again, just trying to streamline our registration process to make it easier for you. You can make payments, which is really awesome. Put your deposit down and then make payments every month so it doesn't hit you all at one time. So, and hopefully that'll be easier for you too. So thank you, Missy. Thank you, Carrie. And so just really quickly, just to show you, our schedule is on here. And this is a tentative schedule. It can be tweaked a little bit. So as we go along, but you can kind of see where we are. Please check that out. Our check-in is at 4 p.m. Right, Missy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you can see again, all the information, our silent auctions on Friday night, as it has been in the past, worship, teaching. And then we have a wonderful mingle time on Friday night where we have our silent auction, but we have incredibly wonderful snacks that are made. A lot of people, I've got people that make them homemade, as well as like cheese and hummus and things like that. But it's a great time on Friday night for at mingle. We also then on Saturday, you'll see we have a devotion. Pastor West, who didn't mention this, I don't think he did, but Michelle, they do a devotional. We have changed the times to be a tad bit early to allow more time in between to get you from A to B. Because that was a concern. It has been in the past few years. And so Bon Clark has graciously adjusted their meal times in order to be able to help you guys get to the next place on the campus. If this is your first time on the campus, the hotels and the meals, the cafeteria, a dining hall are all in one general area. And then down the hill, about I don't even know, maybe 3 blocks or so, is where our main building is, the youth activity building. We call it the YAB. It's a big gym. That's where we have all of our main sessions. That's where our dance is. And then there's a building behind that one that we have a wonderful concert at RK Praise on Russell and Christy on Saturday night. And it's also a little farther area. We do our bonfire, and they kind of happen all at the same time, but they get staggered. And everybody loves our dance with Tal Gross. And so he does a phenomenal job. This year's theme, kind of going a little bit, every year we do a different theme. So this year's theme is just wear blue to go with deep waters, the blue water. So you can wear a blue t-shirt and blue jeans, or you can dress up like, I don't even know, like some character that's blue. We don't care, but just be creative and be thinking of what you could wear that night that is blue to kind of, fun for the dance. But here again is, our merchandise tables are open at different times for you to be able to purchase things. Our excursions, you see here, our breakfast, lunch, and learns, and their schedule here, our excursions on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And then, of course, on Sunday morning, again, Pastor West does our devotion, and the morning is more of a church environment with extended worship this year, because guess what we're doing? We're moving our incredible prayer experience to Sunday night. We just, again, with the effort to give you more time, but it's going to be in the chapel again, which is where you were last year. But we're also going to have some of the stations outside. So if you've never been to a prayer experience, it's basically different stations of prayer between you and God. And they're written new every year with a different environment, a different design. And it's phenomenal. So we've moved it to Sunday night to give you a little bit more time and to allow more worship on Sunday morning. And then Sunday night, we have something planned that we can't tell you right now. So it's going to be amazing. So we're working on it, and we hope, again, that you'll be there to experience. And then finally, on Monday morning, we have some people that leave really early, but some kind of trickle out. And we usually end up with about 100 left for breakfast. And it's just one more time to give everybody a hug and say, that we're going to miss each other. And some of the greatest friendships have come as a result of Labor Day, and people have gone on to, continue to be friends. So other things, I'm just showing you past retreat photos. Check those out. Information about Pastor Freddie and myself and Michelle and Wes. More about Russell and Christy, excursions, breakfast, lunch, and learns. You can see the ones that were last year to see kind of like the style of workshop, but they'll be all new by this summer. And again, something that Ernest didn't share with you, but we don't get people to be leading these sessions without them also registering first, because we want it to be people that are teaching and leading those discussions that are also are attending the retreat. And then volunteer. And then this year, our charity, we flip back and forth every year. We do a charity that's in America and a charity outside of America. Is Natasha, who has a ministry, a wonderful ministry in Corinth, Greece, that is single adults as well as with single women, single parents, and gypsies. And I had the honor of being there last fall during my time over there in Europe, and I'll be back there in April. And she just has an incredible ministry. And check out all that she does as a single adult. And so we are raising money for her. On Sunday morning, you get a chance to, we'll be passing the basket around, be a chance to be able to sow into the work that she is doing. This is information about how to support the ministry, the scholarships. There's an application, registration. Then we have FAQs, which is questions about the ministry, if you want to check that out. And then marketing materials. If you want to download our ads, you can download them and share them. Understand, we do not have the funds to do major ad campaigns. So the best advertisement is you, word of mouth, and giving out our postcards. And then, of course, our team and a little bit more about them and where they go to church, so you can learn and see the variety, right? The variety of backgrounds that we have represented here. And so I think that, did I miss anything? Everybody think I got everything?
Hey, Kris, I wanted to just say a couple things real quickly, tagging a little bit of something what Russell and Christy said earlier. I've been pastoring for about a little over 30 years, and a lot of that was in single adult ministry. And I never became famous myself, but I've worked with a lot of famous people through the years. And I was working with a guy one time, and I won't name his name, but he's pretty well known. Almost all of you would recognize him if I told you who he was. And I had him come in and do a singles retreat weekend for me one time. And he stayed in his room the whole time in between sessions and worked on billing and booking things for his next event and different things like that. And so the next year he wanted to come back, and I said, no. Now, this is a guy that's a friend of mine. Okay. So we still have connections with each other, but I said, no, you're not coming back. And he said, well, why, man? He said, everybody really liked, my teaching. And so I said, yeah, they did. But I said, your interpersonal skills just stink, man. And what I love about Russell and Christy, they lead worship, but they hang out with you. They'll talk with you. They'll pray with you, that kind of stuff. I hope that would be what would be said about Kris and I. I don't think we're people that, make ourselves distance from you. We're there to pray with you, to talk about if there's one of the subjects or whatever that's, maybe you've got a question about, or maybe it's created something in your life that you need to, to get some counsel with, those kind of things. So, and all of our team is like that. We're there. It's an interactive kind of thing. It's not a bunch of people showing up who do their thing and then go off and hide somewhere until the next time around. So I just wanted to say again, if you're watching and you're thinking about it, especially if you're a first timer, really want to encourage you to know that you really won't not have friends very long, even if you come by yourself. As I like to say, you're only a visitor for about 38 seconds. And I don't know where I got that figure from. It just came to me. But from then on, you're just part of the group, and we're all part of one big family. And if you're a person who's looking for Christ, you're not even sure if you know Christ or you're following Christ, this is for you too, man. We're all at different stages, different places. I'm at a different place than some of these people on the screen here, but we're all at different places. But as I try to teach people through the years, is there's always one more step for us to take. And for somebody, that step may be just to accept Christ into your life. But for every one of the rest of us is to take one more step in our personal journey, because we don't ever arrive while we're here on earth. In heaven, we'll all know everything that God knows then, and we'll all be able to experience that. But until we get there, we're all still just taking one more step, whatever that is. And the beautiful thing is, it's not to earn our salvation. It's just to help us grow and mature and to experience Christ in a real way. So I want to say thank you to all these folks on the screen for your willingness to be involved in people's lives. And so even Mary Lois and working in the kitchen there, I mean, she may be busy doing some of that, but if you need a prayer, she'll probably stop and pray with you. She may be cutting up a piece of celery while she's doing it, but she'll pray with you and move on with that. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there for everybody.
And please know that we do this because we know what it feels like to often feel rejected and not be included. We've gone to churches or go to churches that maybe don't see singles as a priority. And until God tells us not to do this retreat, we're going to keep doing it until God tells us to stop doing it. And because it's impacted my life forever, and it's impacted, I believe, everyone here's life. And so don't look at it as I'm just going on to volunteer. I'm just going on vacation and I'm going to go do what I need to do, but come expecting to hear from God and have that mindset. Yes, it's a time of fun and you get to go to the mountains, and I love the mountains. That's why I moved here. But I also want you to come expecting that God wants to speak to you, and also to remind you that you are not alone. And so with that, was there any questions that came in? I love all these people that are on here. Hey, Miss Kim Rich and Phil McDonald and Wanda. Wanda was, I believe, a Breakfast, Lunch, and Learn last year. And there's Lisa and Davey, who wasn't able to join us, is having some technical problems. Hey, Debbie Davis. Debbie Davis is our nurse on call, and so she will be there if you scratch your knee, or in case like Freddie almost had to go to the ER a couple of years ago because he tripped, and that was fun. And I was glad that we had a nurse on call for that. And just again, we have so many people that are there serving, that have been doing this every single year, and you don't even always know who they are, but they are there. And so any questions that anybody has anybody noticed a question in the chat that we needed to ask? Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, wow, we did a great job of explaining, and I think the website says it pretty good as well. There is an FAQ section on the website where you can go and read some of the questions there, and we would email us and let us know if you have any additional questions. I know Missy will be get with you. It does say when you email, give us a couple days to respond back, only because everybody works during the day, and so, What, Missy?
Everybody works full time.
Everybody works for it. So we'll get back to you as soon as we can, but I promise you, you will get a response back. So with that, I guess, Russell, I have volunteered you to close us in prayer.
Sounds great. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Let's pray together. Father, thank you so much again for just this time tonight to gather here around our computers or our phones, to connect with people that many of us already have relationships because we've been to this event before. But tonight, I'm just praying that you'll just take all the efforts and all the hopes and all the dreams that this team has for a great weekend. And Father, that you'll do what only you can do, and you'll prepare the hearts, and you'll prepare the way for those who want to come. You'll make a way for some people to give scholarships so other people who don't have it can come. You'll make a way for people to be able to save some pennies here and there and get enough to come. We're just praying that you'll work on our hearts as we come, and that we'll be expecting to worship you, to experience you, to have great community, to learn from one another, to encourage one another, and most of all, just to lift our eyes and our voices up to you to hear what you would have to say to us. So, Father, thank you again for Kris and for Freddie and the entire team that's on here tonight. Pray that you'll continue to work in their hearts and prepare each of us for our tasks and the things that we need to do. We again just pray for all the details and all the things that are going to happen. But then too, I want to pray tonight for those who are sitting on the fence, who are trying to decide if they want to come or not. Father, I just know that there is so much that goes into this event, and there's things that you want to do and say and show to them if they'll just come. And so I just pray tonight that you'll help those who are on the fence to just choose to be there, choose to experience it, and to come just knowing that you love them, that you are for them. And no matter what season of life any of us are in, we need you. We need community. We need fellowship. We need those to surround us and pray for us, to be our friends, to be our encouragers. And so there's no better place I know of on Labor Day weekend to be than at this event. So I just pray for those who will come. Speak to us, use us, and let this weekend be just a time where we can say, wow, look at what God did. Even though we might find ourselves in deep waters in life, we know that you are the rescuer. We know that you are the one who can calm the seas, you can part the seas, and you can lift us up and hold us in your arms. And so, Father, in all things, we give you thanks and we give you praise for what you're going to do. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Woo!
Amen.
Praise the Lord. Well, thank you, wonderful team, for your time tonight and being here. And this has been recorded, so it'll be out there and it'll be put on our website as well, so people can go back and watch it. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night until we see you again in whatever way capacity. Goodbye, everybody.